Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving right into a super interesting part of the biblical text, Psalm 52. Today is all about two very different paths. We're going to see how the choices we make every single day, and especially the words we use, have this incredible power. They can literally change things for the better, or, well, make things a whole lot worse.
So, to get us started, I want you to picture something. Have you ever been hanging out on the playground or maybe at the park and you see someone just acting like a total bully? And then, this is the craziest part, they actually brag about being mean. It's so confusing, right? Like, why on earth would anyone be proud of doing the wrong thing? Well, that exact question is what kicks off today's text. It literally asks why people would ever want to show off about doing bad stuff.
To figure out the answer to that big question, we're zooming in on chapter 52 of the Psalms in the biblical text. Now, you probably know this, but a psalm is basically an old, beautifully written song or poem. People used to sing them while playing stringed instruments. And this particular song, it was written by David. Yeah, that David, the brave young shepherd boy who faced some pretty giant challenges.
The real-life historical backstory behind this song is actually really intense. At this point in his life, David was in serious trouble. He was literally on the run because King Saul was trying to catch him. And then, a guy named Doeg the Edomite decided to use his words to tell these terrible lies to the king about where David was hiding. Doeg's deceitful words didn't just hurt David, they put completely innocent people in tremendous danger.
And that super serious situation brings us to exactly how the song begins. David writes, "Why do you boast of evil, you mighty hero?" He is directly calling out the guy telling these lies. But notice how he says mighty hero? It's kind of like a sarcastic nickname. He's basically comparing this person to that playground bully we talked about earlier, someone who totally mistakenly thinks that doing bad things and hurting people somehow makes them strong and heroic. Spoiler alert, it doesn't.
The text specifically points out that this boastful person practices deceit. Now, deceit is just a fancy word for tricking someone by not telling the truth, basically a falsehood or a lie. And the biblical text gives us a really clear warning against people who make a daily habit out of this kind of lying. It actually says that people who do this are a disgrace in his eyes. See, he absolutely loves the truth, and he really does not like it when we use our words to trick other people.
Then the text builds into this really powerful, vivid picture. It says, "Your tongue plots destruction. It is like a sharpened razor." Wow. Just think about that for a second. The text is comparing harmful, deceitful words to a dangerously sharp tool. Just like a real razor can cut you and make you bleed physically, the words we say can cause deep, invisible pain to the hearts and minds of the people around us. Words have an edge.
So it all comes down to a choice we have to make every single day. It's basically two completely different paths. First, there's the harmful path. This is the path of the boaster, the person who loves evil, chooses falsehood, and speaks harmful words instead of the truth. But then there's the good path. This means making the brave choice to actually love good and speak the truth. So which path do you think he wants us to walk on? Pretty obvious, right?
But that brings up a really big question. If someone does choose that harmful path, if they're constantly using their words to plot destruction and hurt people, what happens? What will he do about this evil? Because, let's be totally honest here, sometimes it really feels like the bullies are just getting away with it, doesn't it?
Well, the biblical text gives us a super clear answer. His response to the deceitful is serious. He will bring them down to everlasting ruin, snatch them up, pluck them right away from their tent, and completely uproot them from the land of the living. Now, I want to reassure you with this. He sees absolutely everything. Even if a bully seems super strong and powerful right now, he will ultimately step in to bring perfect justice. Bad choices, they do not win in the end.
Let's break down exactly what went so terribly wrong for this boaster. It kind of happened in steps. Step 1, they absolutely refused to make him a stronghold. Step 2, because they didn't trust him, they decided to trust in great wealth instead. You know, money and stuff. And step 3, they tried to grow strong by destroying others. The text actually says that people who do what's right will see this eventually and even laugh, asking, wait, where did this boastful person go? Because that kind of cruel power, it just does not last.
Now, I mentioned the word stronghold a second ago. A stronghold is just a highly protected place of safety and strength. Think of it like a giant castle with massive, thick walls. So instead of relying on money or being mean to get strong like the bully did, we are supposed to make him our ultimate safe place. When things get tough, he is the absolute ultimate stronghold.
And that brings us to a massive shift in the song. David completely changes his focus over to the good path and writes, "But I am like an olive tree flourishing in his house." Instead of being a sharp, dangerous razor that hurts people, the righteous person, the one who trusts in him, is like a beautiful, living, growing tree.
But what does it actually mean to flourish? It means growing big, healthy, and really thriving. Check out this amazing fact. Olive trees can live for hundreds, sometimes even thousands of years. They can survive incredibly tough conditions. I want you to just close your eyes for a second and picture this: a beautiful, bright green tree growing directly and safely under his perfect care. It's got these deep, deep roots, it gets plenty of water, it's covered in green leaves, and it's completely safe from any storm. That is exactly what he wants for you.
When we put these two word pictures side by side, the difference is just massive. On one hand, you have the sharpened razor. That represents harmful words that hurt, cut, and destroy everything around them. But on the other hand, you have the flourishing olive tree. That represents a full life planted safely, trusting completely in him. It's a seriously powerful comparison, isn't it?
So, why exactly is that tree flourishing so wonderfully? Well, it's because it's trusting in his unfailing love forever and ever. Let me tell you, true strength doesn't ever come from being a bully. And it definitely doesn't come from having a bunch of money or acting tough. True strength, that comes from trusting completely in his perfect, unfailing love for you. David finishes up his amazing song with a promise, and this brilliantly shows what we should do too. David says he will always praise him for what he has done. He's going to do this right out in the open in front of his faithful people, like friends and family, and he will always hope in his name because his name is truly good. It is just a completely different, totally wonderful way to live compared to that angry boaster we talked about earlier. As we wrap up today's explainer of the biblical text, I want to leave you with this big, really thought-provoking challenge. How can you use your words to praise him today instead of tearing others down? Remember those two paths we looked at? You can actually choose the path of the flourishing olive tree right now. You've got this amazing power to use your words to bring hope, to lift up your friends, and to praise him. Think about it, okay? Go out there and make it a great day by choosing the good path.